So welcome back to my YouTube channel. Again, another video. I seem to be really smashing out these videos at the moment, and actually, to be honest, I'm actually really enjoying it. So today it's push day and we're heading off to Next Level Gym in Preston, which you saw me train legs in one of my previous episodes. For today's session, even though I've already done a push session, this is push B, so something slightly different. I'll sort of include everything that's in the session, a little bit of waffle, which is obviously what I'm guilty for, but I thought I'd take you along on the ride with me. Just making our way up there now, so it's probably going to take about 40 minutes roughly, but I'm really looking forward to it. Always a good gym, always have a good session in there, and yeah, just enjoying the rest of this lowish food until a couple of high days back to back, which is much needed to drop a load of fatigue and inflammation. What the fuck are you doing? It's not how them lights work, Norbed. It would have been, wouldn't it? Fucking idiot. So yeah, I've got a couple of back-to-back high days with the intention of dropping a load of fatigue, a load of inflammation, and hopefully bring some more lines through, which is obviously what we're looking for, because off the back of my check-in pictures, my legs, my glutes, and sort of a few other areas are inflamed to fuck. So yeah, that'll come in quite nicely, and it's also good timing. So anyway, I'm going to just sit and enjoy the radio and talking to my good lady, even though we don't really talk very much. And then yeah, I'll catch you at the gym in a little while. So finally made it to the gym, and we're starting this session. Normally start with a fly, seated fly, either pec deck or cable fly. For this one in particular, we're on the pre-core. It's normally a chest press machine, but we're starting on this as a chest fly, and to be fair, it feels pretty decent. So I think I'm roughly up to top set-ish weight. The stacks are quite light on this machine, so might be able to go slightly heavier, but we'll see how we get on. So yeah, gonna send this set and see where we can get to. Actually feels pretty decent. Really do like that machine, but it's odd. Normally you have the opposite when you're flying, is that it gets heavier on the contraction, but it seems to get oddly lighter. I'm not sure if that's because it's like the strongest portion of the movement for me. That felt pretty decent. I think that was a set of 10. Felt as though my head was going to explode, and I generally forget to breathe. But one thing to take into account with this machine, I'm sure I've hit on it before, is a fly isn't with your arms out. When you're flying, so when you're coming back from this position, is you're bending your elbows, you're gonna be at 90 degrees. So it's almost like a hybrid between a fly and a press. And you're imagining your elbow crossing the center line of your chest, which is what this is gonna hit. So you're coming back from here, bringing your elbow forwards, almost like trying to squeeze your bicep into your chest, rather than coming with your arms out. If you come with your arms out, plays into your forearms, plays into your triceps, also fucks with your shoulders. So incorporate that and your chest will grow. So the next machine, well, we just moved on from the pre-core chest fly, did 2 sets. Only dropped like 9 kilos off my back offset, which is actually pretty decent. Took that for a set of 10, so it's nice to kind of push some blood into the muscle and actually activate my chest to begin with. So we've just moved on to this machine, which you probably see behind me is the Nitram incline press. On this machine in particular, it's got a pin that goes across the back, so you can either have it as all in one piece, or you can have it so it's like unilateral, I guess you could say. We've taken the pin out and moving it unilaterally as if you're doing like a dumbbell press, and it actually feels pretty decent. So we were going to go onto the Smith machine, but all the Smith machines were taken, so we've opted for this one. Never used it before, and to be honest, it feels pretty good. So this may be my last warm-up set, depending how heavy this is, but we'll see where we go. Definitely got more in me there, so I'm going to take the weight up a little bit, probably fuck it, stick 5 kilos on and see where we go. I look lost there. So, said I looked a bit lost there. I've just stuck 25 kilos, 26 and a quarter kilos aside. So hopefully that should be somewhere in the ballpark of my working set. Probably drop the 5 off from my back off and then send that as well. So it's the only way to do it. The other thing that I need as well is some headphones, which aren't dead for once.
Why aren't they dead?
Because you put them on charge.
They would have been dead.
Yeah.
They were on 8%.
Then I would have been dead as well. Get on it. Very good album. Very good. Very good, very nice. Okay. Mad. I'm not upset about that, because that's the maddest machine. From the bottom to the midsection, it's not too bad. As soon as you get to the top, it's like, there you go, there's the weight, and it gets really fucking heavy. So I'm not unhappy with that at all. Felt as I controlled it as best I possibly could. Went to where it needs to be, so back off set, let's do it. So that set actually perfectly depicts what can actually happen like when you're on prep. Like the first set felt pretty good. I think there must have been like 6, maybe 7 reps. That one was 5, so it just shows how your strength can take a incline and then completely fucking bomb it, because that was a set of 5. I'm not upset by it at this point. Probably did kind of over-egg it on the weight front, but you know, it is what it is. Just got to take it on the chin. Just got to come to terms with the fact with cardio is high, steps are high, food's low. So it is what it is. I can't expect my strength to be there. So that's 2 sets on the incline, nitro and press done. We've just moved on to the Nautilus Nitro overhead press for the shoulder movement. I like to use new machines when I come to different gyms, especially being here as they've got so much like old kit. So volume's been pulled right back, so I'm literally on 1 working set, 1 top set, more or less across the board. The only thing that I've got slightly more volume on is for glutes, which is 3 sets, 12 to 15 adductors, which I normally jump in at the end of my session. So gonna sort of increase on weight on this. It feels very, very nice. So seen a lot of people using this over the last few months, and it feels pretty decent. So I just wish we had one of these in our gym. So it looks like 5's a magic number. The whole way through prep it seemed like somewhere between 7 and 8 was a magic number. May have over-egged that slightly, but I was kind of flip-flopping in my head going between, do I go for, what is it, 64 or 71? So maybe if I'd gone for 64, I would have got somewhere close to the rep range, but I've dropped the weight back even more for this back offset, just to be sure to kind of get into, or at least kind of get into the rep range on this one. So just gonna give myself a second and then carry on. Normally what I do with push session B in particular is I'll do a seated fly, whether if that's a cable fly or a pec deck. I'll then do an incline press for the top line. Then I'll do a shoulder movement, and then I go back in and then again do another incline seated press to target the top line again. Back into delts for lat raises, triceps, and then that's the end of the session. So relatively the same if you saw the vlog that I did at Rip Gym in Harlow. Relatively similar setup, but obviously different movements just to recruit different areas. So anyway, I'm going to get onto this back offset and see where we can take this. Yeah, I can't be upset with that, to be honest. That was 7. I wanted to get somewhere closer to 8, but I'll absolutely take that. It's the only thing I find, like, training at different gyms, you get used to the pieces of a kit you use in your own gym, and it just makes it tricky kind of getting used to what weights what to go for, roughly where you should be at. But even still, shoulders are full of blood, chest is full of blood, still hitting failure regardless if it's 6 reps, 10 reps. I know there's gonna be people out there saying, oh yeah, but you've got for muscle and 8 and 10. I'm on fucking prep, for God's sake. Like, strength's not going to be incredible, and I can't expect to push boundaries. So long as I'm hitting failure, the execution is good, and I'm getting enough blood into the muscle, I can't really hope for any more than that. So time to move on. So I was aiming to try and find a sort of like seated incline press, but there's not really one here that's kind of suitable, I would say. There is one behind us, but it's more of like a military press, so it's going to be more of sort of like an upper chest front delt, which I don't really want to batter my shoulders. So I've jumped on the old faithful, the hammer strength flat press, I think it is. And this is just to kind of nicely like just toast off the chest and just finish it off. So feeling pretty good. Pump's pretty decent. So far it's been a pretty decent session. Don't feel like gassed out by any means, but that doesn't mean that obviously I've not been pushing it. I've got a few movements left. Ding my food in the microwave, jump in the car and shoot home. So yeah, gonna go on with this top set, which hopefully I'll get somewhere within the rep range now, hopefully. I've not over-egged it too much, I don't think. But yeah, we'll see where we go. Top set on this, back off set on this, and then yeah, move on with the rest of the session. Can't say I'm upset with that, to be honest. 8 reps. Really hit that failure point at the end. Like, I hit that pretty quick. Seems to go from like 100 to 90 pretty fucking rapid, but it's all good. It's all good. Still felt good either way. So yeah. It's one thing I was going to hit on, and I think it's a very valid point. You're probably looking at some of these clips and thinking you're not actually using that much weight. So as I hit on a couple of minutes ago, like, still dieting, food still being low, strength isn't going to be 100%, but over the last sort of like 18 months or so of the off season, like, I've completely changed how I train, and I think that's reflected in my physique on stage like 2-3 weeks ago, however long it was, 2 weeks ago I think. It's reflected in that, and that's what I want, because now I'm in that frame of mind of connecting with everything. And it sounds a bit cliche and a bit, you know, weird to say, but I'm trying to grow muscle. I'm not trying to necessarily get strong. If I can say grow muscle and get strong, it's the best of both worlds. What more could you possibly want? So that's my aim here, is not necessarily to be strong as fuck. Still seeing progressions in my lift, progressions in reps, progressions in terms of like set execution, and the muscle just comes along with it. So that's the emphasis I'll also be carrying into my off season, whenever I start that, who knows, and how it will sort of propel me through. So yes, I don't lift a shit ton of weight, and it's not the be all and end all, because you see it far too often. So many people moving shit tons of weight, but then they carry literally fuck all muscle. And I just say these people have just got strong connective tissue, and that's about it. So take that into account, translate that into your training. It'll honestly transform, and you'll be small like me. Oh, fuck. So dumbbell lat raise is one thing. Again, it's always one thing I start with. It's one thing you see a lot of people fuck up, to be polite. Dumbbell lat raise, you're not coming from the sides outwards, even though that is a lateral movement. I start with my arms as if I'm just stood. So I'm coming from this position. Probably see it back there. I'm coming from this position, and I'm essentially going out. Not from here, going out that way. So as you're coming from here, going out this way. So starting from there, going outwards. That's the natural plane to hit your side delt, because you'll remember your side delt is there. Your side delt isn't round here, and it's not round here. It's a very particular area to target. So following that as well, and all you're doing is you'll go into a point, because you'll absolutely hit it with a lat raise, is you'll hit a point where you literally can't go anymore. And you'll know when that happens, because you'll get to here and it's almost as if like you're walking down the street and someone's just put their hand on your chest to stop you dead. That's exactly what will happen. As soon as you go past that point, you can imagine going from tension, and then it's all gone. So you want to focus on that all the way through, and it really does help. Don't go for stupid weight. Yes, in the past I've got up to doing say like 15 kilo dumbbells, but that was literally like fucking grip and rip, swinging the fuck out of it. Whereas the most I've got up to recently is probably about 12.5 kilos. That was pre-prep. Now I'm working at about 10 kilos, but really focusing it in. And I believe personally, that's what's brought my delts out this prep, and also for my previous show, is working with it and working correctly ultimately. Otherwise it's like anything. If you're going too heavy, it just becomes a trap movement. And as I say, everything is a back movement if you do it fucking wrong enough. Back offset, let's get it. So session's nearly finished. It's only been a quick one, to be honest, and it seems to be how my training goes at the moment. I prefer just to be in and out. I think this is probably about an hour and a half or so, but obviously I've been shooting the session, so it's going to take a little bit longer. Just finishing up on triceps, which is a bit more of like a fixed tricep extension. So do a top set and a back off on this, and then move on to something else, and then that'll be it. Like I covered triceps in one of my other videos, so you don't necessarily need to see it again. Exactly the same principle. But yeah, I can't wait to get this set finished, grab some food, because I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty hungry. And as I mentioned probably earlier in the video as well, I've got 2 high days coming up back to back, which I'm gonna go down a fucking treat, because out of the back of my show, I got straight back on it more or less. Obviously I had like two days where I just had a bit of freedom with food, and it dropped 9 pounds in 2 days, and that was quite simply just getting back on track, getting the water back in, getting the steps back in, getting back on the cardio, literally getting back to plan as if nothing had even happened, and my weight had dropped right back. So the only thing I'm kind of suffering with at the moment is a lot of inflammation that's built up over say the last like couple of weeks, back into training legs, back to training glutes, and just training in general. So there is kind of that shock factor there. So the emphasis around tomorrow and Saturday is to get a decent amount of food back in the system, nothing stupid by any means, drop a bit of inflammation. Cardio's been pulled until at least Sunday, when obviously I'll check back in again after the high days and then see what the movement is from there. But yeah, right now I'm in a good spot. Body weight's coming back down, composition is changing even more, and that's all I'm saying. I'm going to keep you fuckers in the lurch. So it's actually a pretty decent set. I've not used one of these for ages, so having a bit more of like a fixed tricep press or a tricep pull down makes it a little bit harder. But anyway, that's not what I was going to say to you. I was on Instagram earlier today, and I see that Krispy Kreme have released some limited edition Biscoff donuts, which I thought they made already. So I thought, oh, I'll jump on their site and have a look. I had a look, for a box of 12 was 40 quid. 40 quid for a box of a dozen donuts. That's absolutely ridiculous. So I just bought 6 or 7 cookies from Cookie Dealer instead. 25 quid. So when they come through, I'll show you. So I don't really know how well you can hear me because it is quite windy out here, but that was a very decent session, more of sort of like a last minute trip to next level. Always like training up here, such a good facility. So yeah, this draws the session to a close. I'm just about to jump in the car to head home. I'll get my next meal in probably about half an hour to an hour. Generally something that I do post workout, so you saw the state of my gym bag there, and I'm not gonna lie, it's an absolute mess. But it is what it is. It's another session boxed off and another step closer. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up and leave it at that. I'm not going to ramble on too much because I'm aware that sometimes I take 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour to do these videos, but that is it from me. If you like the video, please hit the like, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel and share the love, and I will see you in the next one, whenever that may be.